Welcome back, everyone. We're doing another weekly watch list. So first things first, thank you so much for watching the video. If you do like the videos, you are as passionate about investing in stock market finance as I am, then I ask that you kindly please consider dropping a like, subscribing, or even commenting on the video. It would mean the absolute world to me. Honestly, a comment would mean more than anything. Let me know you liked the video. Let me know what you didn't like. You know, seeing comments would be awesome. So anyways, that aside, let's get right into the watch list. So we have S&P pulled up first, okay? Main levels are always going to be previously high, previous day low, all right? I do have this fib here, but not, I mean, I kind of just drew it up right before the video started just to see if that rejection point was the 61. It was obviously right in between, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. As far as game plan goes this week, I'll be watching calls over the previous day high, 664.58. My next resistance zone is going to be up at 673. So that 674 level has been really, really key. But I do have this kind of intermediate zone along the way. Thanks, Thinkorswim. You can see it better on the 15-minute. Lots of points there. Support, resistance, resistance, and then kind of blew through it with that drop on Thursday. But we'll keep it on watch. Maybe as more of like a price target as we move into the zone if we are in calls over previous day high. Again, we do have that fib there, so we'll see. I mean, this could very much be a bull trap here, price over the previous day high, and just put in a lower high here. We'll see. If we take it out to the 4 hour though, you know, we bounce that tariff low. Okay, it's a little bit more clear on ES, but that tariff low down here at 646.15, this whole zone up to 650.85. Yes, I will be watching puts underneath the previous day low, which is part of my system. However, I would like to see us clear that overnight low first that we had on Friday before moving to that next zone of 646. However, I would consider this a higher risk zone for shorts, just because on the S&P on the 4 hour, you can see that tariff news low was all the way down here at 646.15. So really, this whole zone could be considered a demand zone. All right, let's go over to QQQ. Actually, I'll show you ES real quick. I mean, like I said, I removed ES and NQ from the videos just because it's the same as the S&P and NASDAQ. But as you can see it here on ES, that tariff low, we did bounce that, right? So the 65.25 to 65.52, really would like to see that break before looking at shorts again down to 6,500, all right? But same thing on ES, like over the previous day high, I will watch calls up to 6,700, but over 6,700 is better, all right? Let's go over to QQQ, same thing, previous day high, previous day low. I'll be watching calls over the previous day high up to this zone here at 605 and then 612, 614. As far as puts go, same thing. Oh, look, I don't have the price levels marked on this actually. That's how far back we're going. I used to not mark the price levels. But now I do. It's so much easier. I wish I did it sooner, but that's just the reality of learning to do this thing. It looks like my rectangle here is also an old one as well, just because I changed the transparency on that too. So that's crazy. But really, as you can see, my next zone below is right underneath the previous day low. So, you know, it's one of those things where I could be looking at a short position, but I will be much more cautious. So what that means is could be less size, but also quicker profits, tighter trailing stop, that type of thing, okay? Really underneath 575 looks like there's a lot more room than down to here at, what is this here? This 571.51. But not worried about that. We're obviously in the middle of that right now. I'll watch once price actually gets to that area. So I'll be watching shorts underneath the previous day low of 580.74 down to 578.53. And then, of course, these levels here. But, of course, the main watch, since we're already near that area where we closed, I'll be watching calls over the previous day high. Let's actually go ahead and bring this across up to this 614 area where we had that initial big sell-off, okay? Let's go over to individual stocks to start off with Apple. Apple's starting to get a little bit more movement. Like, it's still in this diabolical range for the most part. Like, check that out on the daily. That's just freaking crazy. I can't. It looks so funny. Excuse me. Friday was, a nice trend day though. Honestly, it was really nice. Every dip bought up. The EMAs held really well. I'll be watching previous day low, previous day high. Let's go ahead and get rid of that / pre-market low here because it's no longer pre-market low. But break and retest over previous day high, watch calls up to 275. But again, just this whole zone here, I'm really not interested in Apple until it gets over 274. This 274, 275. Like, yes, we have a little bit more of a zone up here at 278, but the main one is here, where we saw this rejection here, saw this rejection here. Like, these levels here are where I'm waiting for price to get over. Okay, we do again have these highs here at 277, 278. So ideally, even waiting for that to clear would be even better. Outside of that, it needs to get under 263. Like underneath the previous day low and 263, where the price gapped up, like that's where I'll be watching as well. We do have this low here, but this is more of like a misprint than anything. So I'm not really worried about it as much. I would be looking for a retest at the previous all-time high at 260. But this range here, really, I'm not paying too much attention to. Let's go over to Tesla. All right, Tesla have been pretty crazy. We do have this daily gap still at 367, so we'll see if Tesla wants to go and fill that gap before moving higher. We did bounce this trend line on the 4 hour as well, this daily trend line on the daily as well. As far as key levels go, keeping it simple, I'll watch calls over previous day high up to 412, 415, then above that I have 428. As far as puts go, if we break underneath the previous day low, I'll be watching puts, of course, down to that daily gap. Let's go over to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, big move, gave back its entire earnings, of course. Let's see what it wants to do this week. I'll be watching calls over the previous day high. As far as puts go, I'll be watching puts underneath the previous day low. Excuse me. Very, very simple. Down to 168.41. Below that, as you can see, I do not have price levels marked. So it just goes to show how far back we are going. All right. But really, 168.41, 166.74, those would be my next support. If you look on the daily here, yeah, underneath that previous day low, my next daily low down here at 168. All right. Man, I would love to see NVIDIA not keep pulling back. If it did, the spot to watch is obviously this previous all-time high here. If I think we can see it better on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to keep pulling back, you know, forget all these daily lows. Bears will get through those, and we'll retest these weekly highs here at 150. Whole psych number. You know, we'll see what happens, but that looks as clean as it gets. Let's go over to AMD. So AMD did finally break under 200. You know, man, what a move. I mean, 272 at its high, down almost $100 a share. It's just unbelievable. We'll see what happens. You know, obviously everyone was watching this gap here off of the earnings. So down to the previous all-time high, or sorry, the weekly. Excuse me, man, I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. The 2025 high, if you will, not the all-time high. We already bounced off of that twice. I was watching that earlier this year, got a couple nice plays off of that. But this gap off of earnings, I mean, if you really wanted to fill the whole gap, you can come all the way down here to 171. But this is good enough. This 185, 186 area. Let's see. This is a place where everyone was watching price. It was obvious. It was very obvious. And, you know, you were looking underneath the previous day lows on Friday, underneath 200 and underneath 203 for like potential traps. It did give enough of a move where you could have caught shorts down here. But of course, it did not come all the way down to 186, potentially trap some shorts, moving back up. So we'll see what happens. But I will be watching puts underneath this previous day low and calls over the previous day high. Really, really simple. All right, let's go to Google and Amazon. Google's been nice. Caught a nice trade on Google on Friday. Really, really nice trade. So again, I'll be watching calls over previous day high, puts underneath the previous day low. Really, really that simple. Not seeing anything else at the moment, right? It's been nice price action. It's been very strong. If we get over all-time highs, I'll watch calls there as well. Simple as that. Let's go over to Amazon. Amazon's also been really nice as well on the short side. So very, very simple. I'll be watching calls over previous day high up to this 227 area. Puts underneath previous day low. However, we do have a pretty hefty zone underneath. It's been a nice, strong area. We had a strong bounce here, another strong bounce here between 210 and 213. So I'd be looking at puts underneath previous day low to 213.54 and down into 210.55. But of course, would expect to see a bounce there. All right. So I think that is everything. Apple, AMD, Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, Tesla. Yep, 6 individuals, SPY, and QQQ. So we are good to go. So that's everything I'll be watching this week. Wishing you all a great week inside and outside the market. As always, if you did enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like, commenting, subscribing to the video, subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. This is my 100th watch list. I can't believe it. And I'm just going to keep going. Just keep making them. See what comes of it. I enjoy making them. If you get any value from it, that's freaking awesome. But growing and as we go and building and learning as we go, you're watching the journey of becoming a full-time day trader, which is just a huge, huge, huge dream and goal of mine. And we're getting closer every single week and every single month. So if you're part of the ride, I appreciate you so much. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next watch list. Also, have a happy Thanksgiving if you're from the United States. Enjoy time with friends and family. It'll obviously be a slower week this week with Thanksgiving, but have a great time with friends and family. All right, I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.